Our undercurve, slant, undercurve letters are I, T, U, and W. And when you're first learning them and writing them, I want you to think of them as three separate things. Undercurve, slant, undercurve. And the slant and the undercurve are connected, but it's not just one motion, because then your letters will start to slant funny and irregularly, and they won't look as nice and clean when you start writing quickly if right now when you're learning the letter shapes, you're not precise with them. So our undercurve, remember, is the underside of the ellipse, and sometimes it goes straight up and reaches the line, and sometimes it follows the ellipse all the way back. Our slant lines are always parallel. They can be tall or they can be short, and they're about the same distance apart as you go along. Today we're going to do the undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve letters. There's the two most simplest letters of that family are the E and the L, and we'll add more to that as we go. But today you get two letters because we're going to do some review after we learn these letters. So undercurve, loop back. Our loop back is just a little loop back, almost like you're following the ellipse all the way back. And then it's not a full twirly loop. It's an undercurve, loop back, slant. Your slant line for these letters are going to be straight. They're going to be running parallel to all the other slant lines, and at the bottom you'll do an undercurve back up. So the first letter is an E. Let's try it. Make sure your paper, you have some padding, you have lines on your paper, you have your resting on your middle finger and your thumb and your pointer finger steadying the pen or pencil, and you're going to start at the bottom, undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. That's a letter E. Let's do three of them. Undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. Undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. These letters are deceptively hard because you will want to just make a pretty loop. But if you do that, yeah, people will read it, but it might get too close to the other letters, and it will throw off your slant line pattern. And if you have a slant line pattern that's consistent, your letters will look nice and clean and always be legible. Okay, so this requires practice and it requires patience, but you can do it. Let's do another E. Start at the bottom, undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. Notice how narrow, how close together these two lines are. If we did a loop, they wouldn't be close together like that. An L looks a lot the same, except for it goes all the way to the top. Working this big, that can be kind of hard. So we have to practice it. We start at the bottom, undercurve to the top, loop back, slant, undercurve. Undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. Undercurve, loop back, slant, undercurve. Okay, you can pause the video and practice these E's and L's until you write a whole line of E's and L's, and look at it. Stop and look at your letter. Are you having these undercurves like the bottom of an ellipse? Is your loop back too long so when you slant you can't connect? Well, that might happen. So my undercurve was too long here. Is your slant too perpendicular to the paper so you get too big of a triangle here? When you do your L, are you going high enough? Oh, I didn't go high enough. Loop back, slant. Okay, that's what I want you to do while you're practicing. Stop and take your time and look at things and figure out how they're going. Go ahead and pause and work on your E's and your L's, and then come back and we'll put some letters together.